Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things injustice. This is for the week of October 31st, 2019.
Happy Halloween!
Yeah, so happy Halloween to anybody who's watching this on the day it goes up. The current challenge is Batman, Ninja Lord, Joker, and that's on a 1-week repeat. The crowd characters for that are Harley Quinn, Deathstroke, and Joker, who you can get at bronze, and silver, so pretty easy for newer players to get. The passive that Batman Ninja Lord Joker has is Cult of the Demon King, which reads as follows. When the Joker KOs an enemy for 10 seconds, his attacks deal 100% life drain, and enemy life drain heals him. Gunner teammates' special attacks cause 20% damage to the opponent's tagged out teammates. Gunners are Deadshot, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, Lobo, and the Joker.
Right, so he's got really great stats. I mean, he's got high stats, 1,500 damage, 1,300 health. I mean, the only reason you'd even say that he's a little bit unbalanced is only because his damage is so high. 1,300 is a great amount of health.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. All right, so splash damage is great. 20% is really high for Special 2. Not as high for Special 1 because you can get 50% with the knives. Mm-hmm. But as a passive, and only one part of the passive, that's spectacular. And he does it for his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And so I generally really like splash damage, even if Brandish Ninjato has sort of changed things by being a counter for it. And I guess what I want to say is I'm not even really sure why I haven't used him so much, because if we're talking splash damage teams and with Special 2, I'm really looking for somebody who does a ridiculous amount of damage on Special 2 that makes it worth the splash damage. And when it's multi-hits, it's a little bit more problematic because you don't get the full value. And if we're going to be... So I guess maybe part of it... Here's the same comparison thing. When the Joker came out, this Lord Joker came out, we also had the Batman Ninja Batman, who had the baked-in stun so that he could get a huge amount of damage on his Special 2 with Cloak of Destiny.
Yeah.
So by comparison, he looked worse. And really, when you've got a character like this with the splash damage, you're looking at specials, you're looking at specialist.
Yeah. And
the problem is Batman can't take advantage of it. None of the Batmans, because they're not a gunner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I feel a little guilty. I feel like I should be using him more and try and take advantage of this, because I normally would. So, in my mind, by being specialist, you give him Master's Death card, can't do Totem, maybe Quake Engine, since you get the extra Joker ability to lock in the opponent for a few more seconds. And despite having an extra ability, the life drain, it's fine, but it's still sort of a defensive ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, hopefully, if you're using your team right, then you're raining down enough offensive damage that healing is never really a factor.
Yeah. Hopefully, anyways.
Yeah.
This week's multiplayer award is Astro Hardness, which starts off as Astro Force. And the abilities are as follows. On any special attack, applies electric damage over time, dealing 10% of special damage for 5 seconds. On lethal hit, 75% chance to trigger Power Shield that will absorb damage up to 40% of max health. And then the evolved ability, invulnerability for 5 seconds at health thresholds 100%, 50%, and 10%.
Okay, so this is the platonic ideal of a defensive tank gear.
Yeah.
And all right, so I just realized now, am I using platonic ideal properly? So...
Yeah, I believe you are.
Because the reason I'm thinking of it is we just had a conversation right before you started filming where there's a couple of terms that I was totally getting mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
And I had it completely wrong. And clearly I did not know what hotboxing was, but I do now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Astro Harness. The first two abilities, they're decent. They're not particularly remarkable. 10% damage over time that takes 5 seconds to complete. That's okay. A 75% chance to get an extra... basically 40% health. That's okay too, but 75% isn't particularly reliable.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you average it out, that amounts to what, like a 30% boost in health? And if you're hit hard enough with a special, it just all goes away anyways. So it's not like, say, Containment Doomsday, where...
Yeah, it's not like a revive the same way. It's just bonus health.
It doesn't compartmentalize the damage.
Yeah.
So it would be great if you would hit, it would take all your health, and then you would get the 40% afterwards.
Yeah, it's an extra health pool that you don't even know for sure that you have,
right?
And is just an extension of your current life bar, basically.
Right. So the real key to this gear and what makes it amazing is the invulnerability for 5 seconds. And you get that 3 times.
Yeah.
To me, tanks are meat shields that can buy you some time for a specialist to tag out and wait until they can tag back in.
Yeah.
And that invulnerability is a great way to eat up the time.
Mm-hmm.
So often the best slot for the character that's carrying the Astro Harness is not in slot 1, so you have more control over when the first invulnerability triggers. And I gotta tell you, there's nothing quite as satisfying in the same way as tagging in your Astro Harness tank just as the opponent wastes 3 bars of power doing a super. And I love this when we're knocking out Killing Joke Joker.
Oh, for
and then
sure.
drop in
Yeah.
the Astro Harness guy.
And just watching people burn all their power, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, because they don't get it back with Tantu Totem when they do a super. Yeah.
In this store, we have Batman Ninja Batman for 26 Canadian. It's not worth it. It's a copy. It's one copy and 100,000 credits, and it does not unlock in your store. It's probably next week's challenge, but not for sure next week's challenge.
Right. But it is next week's challenge. This kind of pack is often... It's next week's challenge often enough
Yeah.
that it makes it even less of a value, because then you're going to be able to get them unlocked in the challenge next time, and you can just promote them with power
It
credits.
would almost make more sense if it was the one that had just passed. If you missed it.
Right. Yeah, I think people would be tempted, because then they'd know it wouldn't be coming around for a while.
That's sort of the longest time period until it came around.
Right.
So, but that would only be for people who aren't playing.
Right.
Or
right.
who didn't have a chance to get it. We also have the Blackest Night Pack 2 for 53 Canadian, which comes with Blackest Night Martian Manhunter, Blackest Night Hawkgirl, and Blackest Night Batman. It is missing the most important Blackest Night card and our personal favorite, the Flash.
Yeah, I think when you look at cards and which ones are the most important, the ones that really change the game, and I think the fact that the Flash has that passive that completely screws everybody with damage over time,
Yeah.
and it makes you so much more powerful, that's game changing. That makes any kind of Blackest Night team that like a level higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Survivor, we have the LexCorp gear set until the 13th of November, 2019. As far as Phantom Zone goes, we have 4 days left.
Yeah, despite what it says on the screen, this is the account that we're playing without glitching the Phantom Zone for more play, so we can actually track how much Valorium alloy is legitimate. Although at some point, when there's enough to, say, max out 3 metal characters...
We might stop, yeah.
We might, or start.
That's true.
We might start glitching the Phantom Zone on this account, too.
Yeah, we might stop keeping it clean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Double XP over the weekend, also.
Yeah.
And Fight 62 is still broken.
Right. So we've linked in the description a thread in the subreddit for Injustice where somebody's kept track of all the breakthrough sort of cycle, and it looks like it's actually pretty accurate. So we've had everybody now, and we're just waiting for, I guess, a few more runs through it to do every skin of the guys who used to not be broken through.
Yep.
Breakable throughable.
Oh my god. Moving on to the current glitches, just remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android. And a quick spoiler alert, nothing has changed this week, so if this is the part of the video that you're waiting for, they're all good.
Right.
You can click away if you already know what's up.
All right, so maybe we'll start like we usually do with the significant not working glitches. So there is no working glitch for credits that we're willing to endorse. We talk about this in a lot more detail in a previous episode 9, season 6 of our glorified Q&A, which is our P and Q and C and A and T video that we do every week. The main point of it is that it requires being logged into one account simultaneously from 2 devices, which is a high risk of having your account banned.
Yeah.
We don't endorse it. We're not willing to test it or to publicize it.
Other things that there is currently no glitch for: getting past multiplayer season rewards repeatedly, getting early multiplayer season rewards, and getting through the Phantom Zone quickly.
Yeah, and I guess we should point out some people actually are still having trouble getting their multiplayer season rewards early, but inadvertently.
Yeah,
not
no
in a way they
exploitable
control.
glitches.
Yeah, not. All right, so for the working glitches then, the glitch to let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly, we've alluded to that. It is still working. Its greatest value is probably avoiding the 50 nth metal costs for the 2 replays, just because it takes so long to play the Phantom Zone.
The challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is working. That's confirmed on the current Batman Ninja Lord Joker challenge. And just be aware, especially when they're both up at the same time, doing one of these glitches is doing both of them. Only reset one when you're willing to reset both, or when you want to reset both, ideally.
Right. So breakthrough glitch to let you play repeatedly, still working, and we've never had trouble, but we've cut and pasted a comment from a viewer who has a potential solution for people who are having trouble, but since we can't test it, we can't say whether it's actually any good or not. Use it at your own risk.
Yep. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working. That's good for both packs with random drops, aka loot boxes, and last laugh tickets. Doesn't work in the Phantom Zone because it requires an online connection. There seems to be an iOS way of resetting Phantom Zone rewards, but we can't find a version that works for Android.
Right. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Always bring your countdown clock back to normal before you finish. We see lots of people who are having trouble with their challenge not showing up, or just stuff a little bit messed up. And a lot of times it might just be that you played around with the clock too much and didn't bring it back to normal when you should have. So the other free replays, the getting the free energy without having to watch a video, still works if you've got the button not grayed out. And we've cut and pasted one iOS user's Dragons 952 potential solution in the description, but we can't confirm whether it works or not because it is an iOS solution.
And in between the lands of the living and the dead, I'm trying to make this Halloween themed. I didn't have a lot of time though, and I didn't really think about it before it was just coming up, so that's what I got. Take it or leave it. We've got the promotion glitch where you can promote characters that are still locked. Hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14, so it's not testable and not usable, but it's technically not patched, or not confirmed as patched anyways.
Right, it hasn't failed us yet.
Yeah. And just to finish up, we have a Patreon. And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/bdckr. You don't have to, though. And a bunch of people have already made the decision. We're already sort of surprised and super grateful for the patrons we already have. So we'd like to give a huge thank you to the people who do support us. We have Console Peasant, who is supporting us at the top tier Last Word. We have Sean Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Mull, and Michael DeVries, who are supporting us on the credited level, and Eddie G and Chris Wolf at the gratitude level. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.